Hi there, I'm Mike, and what I have for you today is hopefully just going to be kind of a low-key episode. One I've been thinking about doing and wanting to do since 2020 when Hasbro announced the first full wave of Rebels figures. It was the first time they'd done the whole let's take a bunch of old ones and kind of re-release them in new boxes with new face prints and, you know, all of that stuff. So I really just kind of want to take a look at those, and I have some here out of the box because, granted, they did get announced in 2020, but I didn't start receiving them until like 2021, and I didn't even complete them until I just got the last figure, Ahsoka Tunnel, in 2022. So it took them a long time to get all of these out. They were fan channel exclusives for reissues. You know, the original ones came in these red boxes, all of them. Let me back up here. There we go. So the original ones came in these, and I have all of them. You know, I've got the whole series. So starting with number 19 here, we got Kanan Jarrus, and then number 20 in the same wave, they released Ahsoka Tunnel, and these are all Rebels. So we're going to be talking about Rebels. I'm going to be talking about the figures, but I'm also going to be talking about Rebels as a cartoon, because I feel like a lot of people just I feel like it's something that more Star Wars fans should watch. And you know, if you ever decided maybe not to, I do feel like you're doing yourself a disservice. So I wanted to kind of go over all of the figures and, you know, in the process also talk about Rebels. But first we're going to talk about the ones they released a little bit later in number 33. So there were 13 figures in between, you know, the next two. So we got Sabine Wren. And then number 42, so even another little jump, we got Hera Syndulla. And then there was nothing. There was nothing in the line until 2019 when we got Chopper and finally Ezra. And those were the last two released in this phase 3 red boxing here. I've actually reviewed Ezra and Chopper and Sabine and Kanan and Ahsoka. So if you want to go see my reviews of those, you absolutely can. They're on my channel. You can, you know, if you know how search engines work or the search bar works, you're more than welcome to go watch those. Now, I will say Kanan and Ahsoka, I reviewed, I think, together because they came out in the same wave. And that was back when I was doing reviews like in batches, in bunches. Anyways, so I'm going to be opening them up because I'm going to be comparing them. I have a couple of new ones open. And then, not to ignore him, but finally they also released Zeb Aurelios there in the new packaging art. So I'm not going to bring them all out. Although maybe I should. Now that I think about it, maybe I should have brought them all out so I could show you the little mural. But you know what? I think I actually have them packed away. And I didn't think about it because I didn't think about, I should have the mural here. You can see they're also numbered. This is number 3, and then Ahsoka here is number 7. Now, ideally, these are all the same figures that got released, but some of them, mainly the earlier ones, basically anything but Chopper and Ezra, because they came out after the new face printing. But Kanan and Ahsoka and Sabine and Hera all should have new updated faces. So I kind of wanted to go over those, and we could talk about them. So let's talk about them in kind of order here. Sabine does have a tendency to fall over, so we're just going to leave that right there. Like so. Let's start off with Kanan here. So I'm just gonna take him out of the package. I'm not gonna take his blasters or lightsabers because he has that out. Now Kanan here is he's the daddy of the group. He's a, you know, I guess at the time it was a new concept of having, you know, someone that was a Padawan that survived Order 66 and is thriving out in the world, that at the time when this came out in 2014, that was a concept we hadn't really seen before. So yeah, we have Kanan here. And again, I've done a full review on him. I like Kanan a lot. He's voiced by Eddie Prince Jr. Yeah. Did I say Eddie? It's Freddie. What's wrong with me? And then, we've got the new updated version. Now, ideally, like I said, the figures are the same. Like the body should be the same, but it is using newer paint techniques. So there should be sharper, better paint apps on the figure itself. But the big thing here is the face. I mean, I could tell. I don't know if it's picking up on the camera so much, but even, the old one does kind of have a shiny face now that I kind of look at it. But you can definitely tell in the eyes here that this one just has a more lifelike look. Like there's more color in the face. The lips have more color. Whereas this one, he's got his little chin scruff there. And he's got paint on his eyes, but nothing looks as sharp. Like the paint's just kind of dolloped on like his eyebrows and stuff. Whereas this looks a lot more lifelike here. Now he does have cool things like the lightsaber does split apart and it can go on this little clip right here. Oh, come on now. There we go. It can go on this little clip right here, and then the other part can go on the back right here. And that's cool that he can do that. It's definitely a neat thing that Kanan can do. But it is, it's kind of because of the older style figure, we do have things like limited articulation on the elbows. We don't have butterfly joints on the shoulders. He only has the kind of the single jointed neck at the base of the skull. So, we have some older articulation. Even the, part of the reason for the limited elbow articulation is because this is so short. Newer ones come about down to here, which gives him a much deeper cut, which gives him better elbow access, I guess. And that's more noticeable on this arm than it is on the other one. That's partially because of the sculpt here. He does come with the blaster, which is great. And it fits nicely in the holster there. I love this style. This is like the era of Star Wars I absolutely love right here. Kanan Jarrus, or Caleb Doom, if you will, his original name. He was apprenticed to Depa Billaba, who was on the council. And great character, absolutely great. And I would not mind getting the later season for him. So I guess, if you've seen Rebels, if you haven't, he goes through a pretty drastic look change in between seasons 2 and 3, because he does get into a fight with Darth Maul where he loses his eyesight, and he sort of he doesn't sort of, he wears kind of a Mira Lukin style head covering there. For a while he was sporting the Jedi Temple Guard helmet, which was pretty cool. But definitely a great character. I do wish that he had some better articulation, but it's not bad. It is what it is, and the new face printing is fine. The old one wasn't bad. Of the older faces, his was arguably one of the better ones in terms of paint and stuff, and the sculpt is obviously there. This is actually one of the first figures where they were like, Rebels had a very stylized release in the cartoon, and when they made them here in action figure form, they gave him more of a realistic look, especially Kanan here, where he doesn't exactly look like he looked in the cartoon, but in the cartoon he also didn't really look like anyone, so they wanted to make him look more like a person instead of someone who jumped out of a cartoon. So I like that. I think that's a good choice. And next here, we're going to go into Ahsoka Tano. Now, this is Ahsoka from, she's introduced at the very end of season 1 of the show. And by then, we'd known who Ahsoka was. Now, keep in mind, this came out in between the end of Clone Wars and season 7 of Clone Wars, because the Clone Wars originally ended in season 5. Eventually, it was given a lost season 6, but originally it ended in season 5. So this is actually the second time we saw Ahsoka. So it was a new look. She was obviously older than what she looked like in season 5. So, she suddenly had these super long laku and super high montrals and things like that, and a completely different kind of, armor and whatnot. So she was definitely a welcome sight, but it was of all the figures, it was weird. The first one we got in the Black Series was a Rebels version, but I guess it made sense at the time because it was a relevant property then. So here we have Ahsoka, and she does have small feet, so she kind of has a problem standing up. So let's go ahead and get this one out. Now, I haven't even opened this, so we're going to be getting into the whole thing. And while I'm doing this, I kind of want to talk about maybe some of the reasons why. I know when Rebels first came out, I was somewhat excited for it because obviously it's new Star Wars content. But, part of me was a little upset because back in 2012, Ahsoka fell over. Back in 2012, when Disney bought Star Wars, one of the first things they did was basically cancel all of the ongoing Star Wars things. The comics stopped being done by Dark Horse, and we're going to be switched over to Marvel because Disney owned Marvel. Clone Wars being done by Cartoon Network, not any Disney stuff. So of course, that was getting canned as well, although they were keeping it canon. Expanded universe books, which I haven't liked for a while, so I didn't miss those, but it is another one of those things, they canceled them pretty much immediately. So I get people being upset with taking out on Rebels, basically, that Clone Wars got canceled. I get that. But at the same time, I feel like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, essentially, because Rebels ended up being really good. The first season's not great, but once you get towards the end of the first season, it starts being great, and then it just kind of keeps being great from then on. So much so that even though it was only 4 seasons long, with kind of an upcoming live action 5th season, which is what the Ahsoka show seems to be, I would argue that there are more good episodes, or more consistent episodes of Rebels than there are of the Clone Wars. Now, don't get me wrong there either, because Clone Wars has some really high highs. When Clone Wars is good, Clone Wars is really, really good. But it also has a lot more lows. It went on for a lot longer. It went on for a total of 7 seasons. And the seasons were a lot longer than Rebel seasons. So there's a lot more shows going on for Clone Wars than there was Rebels. So it's not a fair comparison, but a comparison should still be made. And looking at these two, speaking of comparison, I have to say, man, she looks high. Like this face right here, she looks bored or high or something. Whereas she just looks like she looks like Ahsoka. She's serious, but the paint, especially on her eyes, they look so much better. Now it looks like there's a little weird. Oh, it's scratching off. Okay, I have a little white smudge here that isn't on here. I think that's just a paint blemish, and I'm hitting it with my fingernail here, and it's scratching right off. So that actually ended up not being that big of an issue because it's already fixed itself. Not a big deal. But yeah, just kind of looking around, we have a mixture of soft goods and kind of rubber material here on the skirt. She got that thick that thick cake right there. That's one of the things that's weird because she has these skinny legs and then just kind of balloons out, making her look like she's got an ass. But sometimes things just don't translate well from cartoon to action figure. But also, maybe that's accurate. To be honest, I've never looked. I've never tried checking out Ahsoka's ass. So if it's accurate for you, let me know. I do think the silver here is a lot shinier, like a little more gunmetal, kind of reflective, like lustrous than it is here. Also, the markings on her Montrals and Laku are definitely a lot sharper. Like it's kind of smudged and blurry right here, whereas very sharp on here. So that's nice as well. And obviously she does come with her 2 lightsabers. You know what though? Not looking at it. Hold on. What's weird about that? I'm colorblind. I might have to go talk to Lily about this, but I might have to swap out these lightsabers because it's supposed to be white. She's supposed to have clear white lightsabers, but this kind of looks a little blue to me, but maybe it's not. Maybe it is the same. It's good. Definitely think it has like a hint of blue in it, but now that I have them like against my hand here, it does mostly look the same, but maybe there's more of a tint. There's like a light blue tint in this top one here, which is the new one. And if that's the case, that is wrong. It should not be blue at all. It should absolutely be more of a white, because that's Ahsoka. I believe she got these. She got these in the Ahsoka novel, which came out, I don't remember, 2016, I think, 2017, something like that. She basically beat an Inquisitor, stole the crystals from the Inquisitor's lightsaber, and healed them. So they're not red anymore. They turned white, which is neat. We're gonna let's set these off here to the side. We're gonna set this to the side here. So that's Ahsoka. I'm gonna get her into a nice little pose to put her with her family. Although I will say, she's not a member of the Ghost crew. She is gonna be on my shelf with the rest of them. But she's not the same as, like, she doesn't have a Spectre number. Yeah. Whereas, I think Hera's Spectre 1, he's Spectre 2, because he has a little 2 right there. There we go. Let's kind of get these behind her, because that's how she rolls. But yeah, she is a member of the Rebels cast, and she's a rebel, and she helps out the rebels throughout the show. She's definitely not a member of the Ghost crew, not a permanent member anyway. But that being said, she's still going to stand on my shelf with the rest of them, because she's great. And that's how that's going to look right there. Let's get that close so you can kind of... Woo! Why not? Why are you doing that? Man, I do not know. I feel like my zoom lens looks like crap right now. I don't know why. But yeah, it looks good. Look at all those. Look at all of them. So let's go back out to that there, and let's move on to Sabine Wren. So again, that's another one I already have out here. And this is another one that sorely needed a face update here. So let's get her out of the box. Oh, and Ahsoka just took a tumble, and she took out Freedom back there in the back. And Freedom's wings taking out everybody. Oh, goodness. Hera, no, Hera down. Now that we got that taken care of, again, I'm just going to take out the figure here because we've got everything else. Oh, get out of there. And the newer figure. I just want to compare the heads here between Sabine's original head and the new one. So again, Sabine is another member of the crew. I believe she's Spectre 4, if I'm not mistaken here. Now, one of the neat things, this did have a running change on Sabine, where mine is the first one. I hate how it stops doing that. And mine's actually being held on with these pegs on the legs. And that was actually a running change. Eventually, they stopped that and made it more like this new one where they just kind of hang down here. Now, I do need to heat mine up. You can make them hang a little more naturally if they just hang, so they just hang down instead of like hanging out like this where it's clearly not even touching the leg. But that's not a big deal. Other than that, we got a little bit more kind of dry brushing, or like dry brushing. It's kind of faux dry brushing there. So what I like about this is I thought this was on purpose originally, where it was kind of printed out or painted outside the line here. You can see how it doesn't line up, whereas here it's perfectly in the line. And being, Sabine, this makes a lot more sense because she's an artist. So that's, that's one of the things about Sabine is she paints everything. So we definitely have, I feel like this one's got a little bit more splatters of like maybe green or yellow in there that this one doesn't have. The paint marking is not identical. I had a Huffy bike as a kid that was kind of painted like this with paint splatters. I always liked it. I think when I got it, I said the elves spilled paint all over my bike because I got it for Christmas. So yeah, anyways, but really let's look at the face here. So a couple differences right off the bat. Obviously, just like always, we have the eyes. The eyes look different. The lipstick is less pronounced on the new one, whereas definitely more pronounced on the old one because it's pretty much the only paint she has on her face other than her eyes and her hair. See, in this one, because the eyes are painted the old style, she looks a lot more wide-eyed. And her eyes, I don't even think line up. I think this one's a little lazy, kind of looking off that way. Whereas this just looks a lot more, first of all, like a person. Secondly, they're looking the same direction. So that's a winner right there all by itself. Sabine's great. She's a great character. She's a Mandalorian. She's actually part of Clan Vizsla. She's House Wren, but Clan Vizsla. She's a great character. She does come with this helmet. It does fit on there, but oof, that's a tight fit. This is one of those things that I wish she had a swappable head instead of a helmet that went on. And also same thing with the other characters. I didn't talk about this with Ahsoka, but they really could do better on elbows, and the shoulders don't have the butterfly joints because this is before they started doing all that stuff. Those are just things that kind of happen in the line. Although her elbows are pretty good for being what they are. Like, it's not great, but it's not bad for sure. And her blasters are standard Mandalorian blasters. They just kind of go right in. And unlike Ahsoka, but more like Kanan, we did get a couple different looks for her. Ahsoka pretty much looked the same the whole series. Whereas Sabine definitely had a couple different looks. I feel like this is a lot thicker on this one than they are on newer helmets too. That's kind of interesting. Like, it's too thick, it's too big, but I'm glad they kind of changed that. But anyway, what I was talking about is it would be cool to get more of a season 3 or 4 look with this, because she looks different, especially with her hair color, things like that. But she also would have the dark saber. She could have, jetpack that she eventually gets. So that's something I would love to get for Sabine on my shelf. But for now, I'm actually pretty happy with her in her season 1 look, which is what all of these are, is their season 1 looks. And I like that. So I'm going to put the old Sabine over here, and we're going to move on to Hera. I remember getting Hera. Hera came out, all these are dusty, by the way, because they've been sitting on my shelf waiting to do this video for so long. But Hera came out at Force Friday back in 2017. So it was like September, like end of September 2017. Again, I'm not going to pull her tiny gun out, but the new Hera has it. So I just wanted to show you the different Heras. But yeah, I for whatever reason, I found the second wave of these figures before the first wave. Like the wave that was supposed to come after Force Friday, I found those first, and then I had to go hunt down the first wave of Force Friday figures, which included Hera, included Thrawn, the new Rey, because it was the Last Jedi, so it also had the Rey and the Luke from that, and Sabine just fell over off camera. What else was in that? I think a Stormtrooper and a Darth Vader. That was the wave from Force Friday in 2017, and she and Thrawn were the ones that I was looking forward to the most. Now, if you're wondering if I'm going to talk about Thrawn, I am not. I have already talked about Thrawn. I've done a video of him when they did the archive release, so you can go check that out. But I do want to compare Hera. So Hera is sort of the mom of the group. She is Kanan's girlfriend. She is Cham Syndulla's daughter. There is a little cameo of her in Rogue One. Not physically, but they name drop her where they want General Syndulla to report to like the ready room or something like that, the flight deck. But yeah, this is another one where while the original wasn't bad, it's not a bad look. This one is definitely better. You can see that the paint is just so much better around the eyes. Although I will say, it is, unlike some of the other ones, this is a lot more reflective than this. So it doesn't catch the light as much. Now you can fix the reflectiveness if you don't like it. You can hit it with a little matte spray and that will take that off, but I'm not doing that. But what I love so much about just her look. I love the goggles. I wish the goggles came down. I wish they had a way where they could have lowered them over her face. I think that would have been cool. This is actually the first Twi'lek we got in the line. I love her half flight suit. I love the flight pants with the harness. I love the little ankle holster with the tiny gun. That's all she came with. And honestly, I don't know what else she could have come with. This is one of my favorite. It's so it's a simple figure, but there's just so much about it that I love. And I've always loved. Again, I think the markings on her Leku are a lot sharper than on here, although I think it feels like the plastic's made out of a different material, really. Also, ooh, check that out. I got a little, I don't know, is that not painted or paint over it? I think it's not painted. I think that's the color underneath. Ooh, I don't like that. I've never actually kind of looked at that before. It is on the back, so it's not the end of the world, but that kind of sucks. And it definitely looks like it's missing the paint. It's not like something that you can scratch off. So oof, I might have to go track down another Hera. That sucks. That's one of those things you can't see from the back, and I didn't take a look. I didn't see it until I was taking this kind of up close look. I've just always kind of posed her and put her on my shelf and left her at that. But I do love Hera. She's a great figure. She's a great pilot. She also has a cameo in the Star Wars Squadrons game that came out back in, was it 2020, I think? So that's cool. I don't know how to fix that. I mean, I'm sure there's someone out there that could tell me what color to paint, and it's just a little dot, it's just a little touch up of paint. That's all it needs, is a little touch up of paint. But that's not me, that's for sure. I'll figure that out. I'll fix that. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. You know, it's kind of weird. But that's Hera. She's great, fantastic character. Definitely kind of the heart of the team. Kind of brings everyone together. Next, we have Chopper. Now, I'm not going to bother taking Chopper out of here. I've done a full review on him, and being a droid, there are no differences between this Chopper and that Chopper. And also, he came out in 2019, which was well after the face printing updates happened. So you don't have to worry about, is this Chopper got a better face or not? Well, first of all, he doesn't have a face, but the painting was digital on both of them. They used the face printing. He does come with a couple of fun accessories, like there's a swappable leg here where you can make it look more like this one. I guess I'll pull it out here. Yeah. So he's got an extra leg that matches this one here. He comes with a little flame accessory because he has the wheel that just pops out and you can pop in the flame. There's a little base in there. So, there's a couple of fun little things that you can do with Chopper. You can even fold in his arms, which is fun, but he always has the arms out. What's cool about Chopper and what's cool about Rebels, another cool thing about Rebels, is a lot of the designs for the characters, especially this Chopper here, were taken from Ralph McQuarrie designs for the original Star Wars. So this is actually more like what R2-D2 originally looked like, with these little arms and things like that. And I've talked about this in my Zeb review. Zeb back here was based on that whole species. They're based on early concept designs for Chewbacca from, again, Ralph McQuarrie. So it's kind of cool how you get stuff like that. So Chopper here, I'll be honest, I did not like Chopper when he first when he was first on screen. The first couple episodes, I'm like, this guy's a dick. This guy's a jerk. But over time, he grows on you, and you kind of learn to like him. And he eventually, I love Chopper now. I'll never not love Chopper. One of the things I do love about this mold is this little piece right here is not dependent on any gimmicks. So you don't have to twist the head to bring it down. You just pull it down. Not a big deal. It's not hard to get it out. So you just kind of roll with it like that. Not a problem. I like that better. And if they ever do a new R2-D2, I hope it's going to be more like this rather than what they're doing. He is a lot squatter and shorter than other astromech droids, and they actually translated that into live action because he is in Rogue One as well. It's kind of one of those blink and you miss it cameos, but he's there. And he's also, along with Hera and Sabine and Ahsoka, obviously, going to be in the Ahsoka series. The Ahsoka series, like I said, is kind of turning out to being sort of a season 5 of Rebels, which is kind of cool. I'm looking forward to seeing Chopper in here more. Like I said, he's a great character. Lots of fun. Oh, one thing I did miss. I don't remember who voice acts her. It might be someone popular, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But Sabine, I don't remember her name, but she is voice acted. Her voice actor is the girl that plays Vicky from The Good Place, one of the demons. So that's kind of a fun little fact there. But fun little backstory of Chopper here is Hera rescued Chopper from a downed Y-Wing during the middle of the Clone Wars because her dad was a big kind of freedom fighter in the Clone Wars. So that's just kind of neat. Now you might ask yourself for both of these, because next let's just go with Ezra, because it's the same question. I'm just gonna pull Ezra out of the box. I'm not gonna pull all of his accessories out, but you might be asking yourself, Mike, you said there wasn't really an update to these last two figures. Obviously, Chopper doesn't have a face. Why? Why did you buy new versions of them when the old versions are the same? And that is a great question. And it's got a couple different answers here. So that's Ezra. Ezra, before I answer it, we're going to talk about Ezra for a little bit. I'm going to get the new Ezra out here. Now, I am going to replace the old Ezra with the new Ezra. Actually, there's one thing I really was looking forward to testing out, because there's an issue with my old Ezra, and I was curious if this new Ezra would have the same problem. But to answer your question that I asked for you, because I know there are people out there that are probably wondering, why did I buy these? And part of the answer is it was 2020, man. 2020 was a fucked up year. It was messed up, more so for some people than others. Like, everyone had a bad year in terms of, being stuck at home, whether you like that or not or whatever. For me, that actually wasn't so bad. I don't mind a little isolation. I'm sort of an introvert sometimes anyway. Like, I can be extroverted when I want to be, but I'm perfectly fine staying indoors playing video games all day. But my brother died, so that sucked, on top of just everything else going on and general fears and worries of what's going on in the world, things like that. But yeah, that's going through anyone dying sucks. So I was just buying stuff, man. I was like, I just didn't care. I was like, you know what? Why not? What's an extra $20 at the time? The other part, though, was, they started doing this Galaxy packaging, and I thought to myself, okay, so far I've got every Galaxy package made. Do I want to have a potential mural? That's not how he holds that. I don't know why I'm doing that. I was asking myself, did I want to have a potential mural and have holes in it? Did I want to have what is he? Number 6? Number 3. He's number 3. Did I want to have number 3 in the mural missing, And I guess the answer was no, I didn't. I didn't really want to have number 3 in the mural missing. But yeah, one of the problems I have with this one is his belt does not stay closed. This one, because it came out of the box like this one on mine. Like I could not get it to stay closed no matter what I did. It would always pop out. I'll spend 10 minutes pinning this back in and it pops right out. This one, right out of the gate, is pinned closed. So I'm okay with that. I like that. So yeah, this is Ezra. He is just the new kid. He's the everyday character that they use, to sort of exposition dump things and introduce the audience to the world and the people. He's force sensitive, and he becomes the Padawan of Kanan Jarrus there. Obviously, you can see because he has his lightsaber that he built, and it's got a little kind of stun blaster built into it, so he can shoot and lightsaber at the same time. He's also sort of a collector of armor. You can tell he's got little armor pieces here and there. And he also comes with this helmet here, which can fit on his head. So you can do cool stuff like that. Now the face is the exact same because, like I said, that came out when they were already doing face printing. It's even got the same shininess. Like it's not more or less shiny than the other one. So that's not an issue either. So that's interesting. That's one of the things I kind of wanted to check as well. So I'm going to put that back over here. And I don't usually display him with his helmet. So I'm just going to put Ezra right there. And that is... Nope, that's not going to work. Let's let's bring these guys forward here. Whoop, not that. There we go. I've got her kind of propped up on. She tends to want to fall back, and I don't have time to spend 30 minutes trying to get her to stand up. So I'm just going to kind of... I think what we have here is we've got our thumbnail picture right there is what we've got. So that's my Rebels crew, you know, that's them. That's the Spectres 1 through, what is it, 6 now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. And then plus Ahsoka, because why not? They haven't made any other figures from Rebels as of yet, other than they did make Thrawn, like I said, and he's great. He's a great figure. I would love for them to do Kallus. There's a bunch of figures I would love for them to do, but if they never made any more Rebels figures, I think this is great. I think this is fine. This is exactly what I wanted. We got the crew, but I would like some of their newer updates. Like, for instance, there's a time skip in between seasons 2 and 3, I believe it is. And, or is it 3 and 4? No, it's 2 and 3. Yeah, it's 2 and 3. And, you know, he gets a little taller. He gets a haircut. Even after season 1, though, he's got some scars on his... I don't know if it's here or on this side, but he gets some scars on his face. Makes him a little bit more look like Naruto, kind of. But, you know, I wouldn't mind if they did some updates for these to give a couple... Hera pretty much looks the same from start to end. Same with Ahsoka. And for the most part, Zeb. Zeb does have a couple different little looks here and there. But it's not drastic. Chopper looks the same no matter what. But these 3 characters specifically get some different looks. And I'd love to see some new looks from them for sure. But I really, really, really do love the show. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's great. Even the first episode is a lot of fun. But if you don't like it, like I said, stick with it. It gets so much better. But I also want to address one other concern a lot of people have, and that is the animation itself. There's things like, it's very stylized. Star Destroyers have super weird skinny like necks. Lightsabers are super thin. And a lot of people don't like that. And, you know, I kind of get it. And it bothered me at first as well, but after a while, I barely noticed it. And again, a lot of those changes are because of the Ralph McQuarrie designs. They're doing stylized to kind of go for those really old Star Wars looks, which I appreciate. I'm glad they took a chance, and I'm glad they made it visually distinct and not just basically making it Clone Wars season, well, would have been like season 6 or 7 at the time. Because it is a different show and it does have a different look, but it does still kind of fit in. Like, it's not so different that you're watching it and you're like, this isn't the same. It's a little different, but it's not so different. Whereas, for instance, Bad Batch just feels like Clone Wars season 8. Because it's the same animation, all those gorgeous animation, and the animation's come a long way from how it was in like season 1 of Clone Wars even, where it just looks gorgeous. It looks great. I will say, stick with it. It gets better. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It's trying to switch between lenses and then it doesn't want to. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. Again, if you want to see more in-depth reviews, I've got a couple of them for these guys, especially Zeb, Ahsoka, Kanan, Ezra, and Chopper, and Sabine. So basically just not Hera. So go check those out on my channel. I've been going on for a long time over Rebels figures here, and I think I need to stop. I think that's about enough. But thanks so much for watching, and thanks for getting this far. Let me know down in the downstairs area. What did you think of Rebels? Did you watch it? Maybe are you going to give it a chance now that I've talked about it? I love to read and respond to as many comments as I can. I used to say all comments, but I just can't anymore. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'd love to take a moment and thank these people here for supporting me on Patreon at a Black Series level or higher. Thanks so much, guys. It means a lot to me that you do this. It goes a long way to help out the channel. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. It also helps, even though I say it every time, it still does help. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for getting this far, and I'll see you later. Bye.